Dai, which a critic says evokes what it means to be young in Ethiopia. Dreaming of Jerusalem, a documentary film about a Jewish community in Ethiopia waiting to immigrate to Israel, and Running Against the Wind, which depicts childhood friends whose lives take divergent paths when they immigrate to the city. Just a few of the many that are catching audiences globally. Well, here in London tonight, we have the opening of Ethiopian Film Week. It's called Habeshaview and will run to 14th September. Audrey Brown has been speaking to the person in charge, the operations director, Tigist Kebede.
The whole idea of a festival or week is to introduce Ethiopian film to the larger market, draw attention to the film industry in Ethiopia. We have chosen 5 varied films with subtitles, I have to say, because one of the problem, I think, films from non-English or French-speaking countries or other bigger languages is that because it doesn't have subtitling. So all our films have subtitling. So it's actually focusing on the wider community and the international viewer rather than just the local Ethiopian community.
Tell us about the films. 5 is a manageable number.
What we're saying is like 5 films, 5 nights, because that's manageable. I would start with Ambessa, which means lion. Ambessa means lion in Amharic. And that's our opening film. It's a documentary. It was filmed pre-2018. Again, one of the things is that the film industry in Ethiopia has struggled. Quite a lot of filmmakers have stopped making films in the last 2 years because of lack of fund and also the cinemas being closed.
Well, I suppose that's the story of films around the world, actually.
Yeah,
but tell us about the film specifically so that we can get a taste of it. So Ambessa, lion.
Ambessa is lion. So this is a documentary. It's about a boy who's about 10. It is the journey through his eyes of pre-2018. The policy in Ethiopia was to regenerate areas by moving people to different places. So this is the way the boy was watching his, he's kind of, he's looking, he's growing up, he's growing through the eyes of the changing happening around him. His family were staying still in one location while everything around him was changing. So from little houses, shacks moved into large, expensive condominiums. So this is actually the boy watching the surrounding. I don't want to give too much away. But,
so it's essentially gentrification in Ethiopia.
It is gentrification.
But it also gave rise to quite a lot of unrest, didn't it?
It did at that time. At the time.
So tell us about the next one.
And then we also have, then followed by, from Ambessa, we then have Inkopa. Inkopa is also very important. That is talking about immigration. And that's based on, it's not a documentary, but it's actually based on a true story. So Inkopa is about a woman leaving Ethiopia, thinking it's going to be better on her way to journey to Canada, stranded in Sudan, and what happens and what follows. So that's also very topical when we're talking about immigration. That's based on a true story. Then we have a comedy, so light-hearted one. Light-hearted one is Dirdr. This means negotiation. Now, this is also a very important one because it's talking about how people go to a length to try and get their loved one medical treatment. So this is about a little girl who had a heart condition and she needs to find money to be able to get the treatment. We've chosen films which are hard, but also based on true things that's happening. We don't want to make it too easy for people. So most of them are based on experiences and also entertaining.
All these films, it seems to me, resonate with very contemporary issues that are not just Ethiopian, but across the continent and across the world in so many different ways. Migration, the search for justice, gentrification. Are these movies made, films, are they made in collaboration with the diaspora, or are they actually made within Ethiopia with Ethiopian-based filmmakers?
So, one of the reasons, except Ambessa, which is directed and produced by an Italian filmmaker, Mo, the rest of them are all made and produced and co-produced in Ethiopia within the Ethiopian community. And that's also one of the attractions for us, because we want to promote films which are made on the ground in Ethiopia by Ethiopian filmmakers, writers, producers, and directors, rather than the one which has got an influence for an international market.
Tigist Kebede, Operations Director for Habeshaview, the Ethiopian Film Week here in London. Now, another